have two sets of people in India. One are those who are not anywhere near social media or print media. Okay. The other set is who is on social media and who get lot of information, who can get influenced. So this set of people who don't have much access to social media or who are not interested, for them whatever traditionally they were giving and all, that is going on, the food they are giving, but there is so much in the market, so much junk, so many foods laden with sugar, and unknowingly they are giving all these foods to their children. For example, let us take all these milk mixes like Bonvita, Boost, all these things. They think that those things will improve the health of their children. Okay, but it's not so. It's not so. A healthy balanced meal is what is needed for the children. So that is one side of it. The other side of it is again the same fear of mothers that they are not able to give enough nutrition to their children is being exploited by certain companies who are using jaggery in place of sugar and marketing their milk mixes as sugar free products. So these are the educated, those who are on social media. So they are still giving milk mixes to their children, though we pediatricians don't recommend milk mixes, but they are giving jaggery laden milk mixes thinking that they are not giving sugar. And what's happening is these people are giving traditional sweets made with jaggery and all. These people, this section of people are also giving jaggery laden biscuits, biscuits made with millets and jaggery, thinking that they are giving healthy food to their children. Okay. So basically both of them are still giving sugars. When it enters our body, jaggery or sugar is sucrose, it works the same way. So if you have to choose between refined sugar and jaggery, the same amount, you may choose jaggery, maybe. But on the whole, the consumption of the sugar and jaggery needs to come down and follow our recommendations. The recommendation is that up to second birthday, we should not have any added sugars in the diet, including jaggery, honey, sugar, dates sugar, all these things. Okay. And after second birthday also, keep it very limited. Even in older kids also, do not let it cross 5 teaspoons per day, everything together, 5 to 6 teaspoons. We are not talking only about refined sugar. The idea is that children should not develop a craving for sugar. Again I am telling you, again two sections of people. Those who go to government schools or not the high-end private schools who take food from home. Actually, they are doing better than children who get their meals from schools. I am not saying all schools, but many schools almost offer a muffin or a cake or a milkshake or some dessert, sweet dessert every day to children. And that is not what we are actually recommending nowadays. And when certain group of parents go and represent to the school authorities that they don't want this kind of food to be regularly given to their children, there is another section of parents who want it to be that way because they want children to eat. They are not realizing that their children are not eating fruits, their children are not eating vegetables or nuts. They are mostly eating processed food. Okay. So as I said, everywhere, like in fact maybe it's better you are not in that high end school and you just take your dabba from home, maybe you will be eating healthy. it all started with an observation that children were worsening instead of improving after drinking ORS. See, ORS is life-saving drug. So, it corrects dehydration and saves lives. Everybody knows that very well. And it has a clear formula. Reduced osmolarity ORS should have an osmolarity of 245 milliosmoles per liter. So, when I am talking about a decade back, there were only sachets available, 20.5 gram sachets, which you have to disperse the entire content. You have to disperse in a liter of water and use it for 24 hours. But you expect the child to naturally recover from diarrhea, and while that is happening, this ORS will rehydrate the child adequately so that he or she does not get more sick, right. But when you observe that children are purging more, having more diarrhea, getting more dehydrated and ending up needing hospitalization, as a doctor you will wonder what is going wrong. So, that is what started it. So, a drug which has to help a child was actually worsening the child's condition, right, because that was not the real drug, and that was only deceptive marketing and labeling, no doubt about it, no doubt about it. So, when we know that 13 out of 100 deaths in India in the under 5 age group are due to diarrhea. Okay, so we do not know how many children died because of worsening of diarrhea after drinking these liquids, because there won't be any documentation for this kind of thing. That is the unfortunate reality. The truth is staring at us, but we won't have proof. So, anyway, when med reps of the company met me, that time it was with Johnson Johnson, I raised my objection to this. Then after a few months, maybe many pediatricians also would have raised, and if you go and refer to the literature, there is one write up long back in IAP by a doctor about this, long back. And so, these companies came up with a small disclaimer on the back side of the label, do not give during diarrhea, very small. That is more like protecting themselves than protecting the public health. There is no doubt about that. On 8th April 2022, an order was issued by FSSAI that this misbranding is not allowed. So, I thought, okay, finally things will happen. Then when still these things were being sold, I wrote to the Central Health Minister again, and FSSAI received a communication from the Central Health Minister's office to look into the matter. And on July 14, 2022, they issued an order where they reverted the earlier order and said these companies with valid trademark can continue using ORS on their labels, but they have to add a disclaimer, this is not an ORS. So, the ORS on the label is in big font, but the disclaimer will be in a relatively very small font, and disclaimers cannot protect dubious labels. The latest letter I had written was in July or August to the Central Health Minister, where I have gathered proofs this time from parents, letters from parents, case records from a couple of pediatricians and case reports, and we have sent people to various pharmacies asking for ORS, and they were given ORSL or a balance with ORS. We recorded videos, those proofs, everything I sent, and a copy to the Prime Minister's office this time and put on my Insta. And on 19th November, FSSAI sent this order to all the state food safety authorities, saying like you have to seize all these misbranded, mislabeled drinks, but yeah, it is still not happening properly. It will act as a base case because there are certain loopholes in our regulations. There is a regulation that the disclaimer has to be of a good size, readable font. but there is no provision which tells us that the disclaimer should be the dominant one rather than the label or brand. So, there were cases I would be talking now where the judges have given clear verdict that if the contents, food or beverage, are totally of the nature which are misleading the public, then no amount of disclaimers are going to protect the public health. So, they are not supposed to sell those things in simple language. Okay. So, even the latest Delhi High Court's stand on this clarifies that. So, even if you have a disclaimer which you can read well, okay, but the actual product is not the name is actually not depicting the actual nature of the food or beverage, and it is actually confusing the public, then you cannot sell that even if you have a disclaimer. This is what Delhi High Court said. So, I think this they have to bring in a law clearly, the regulation that no amount of disclaimers can protect dubious labels or trademarks.